Bring in the coach, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Grambling State head coach, Mickey Joseph. Mick, what's happening?
Tired.
Yeah, you and me both. We had a long night last night.
Not hanging out, but getting from the airport. Make sure you make that clear.
Right. You must got some secret kind of flight type situation if you come in at 12:30 at night. You know, you got gonna Learjet or what?
No. Just going and get the kids and bringing the kids over here. You know, my son Zachary's getting married this weekend. So
yeah, shout out to Zach, man.
Yeah.
Zach tying the knot.
Yeah, you believe that? You've been knowing him since he's been here.
I know. I can't believe that. How old is Zach now?
30.
30 years old. So congratulations, Zach, man. You should have told Zach to get on here so I can make fun of him. Ask me what do you want for his wedding gift?
Oh, he's okay. Trust me. He's blessed.
Yeah, I'm quite sure. What are you doing with that beef state on? What is that shirt? The beef state.
Just my Nebraska shirt. Just the shirts they gave me when I was out here. You know, I keep T-shirts. I just don't keep logos.
Right. I like that right there, though, Coach. You must have put that in the. That was in the secret collection.
No. We always wear our Nebraska. Nebraska's always going to be a part of our lives.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, back it up. You're too close up on Rico. Back it up. Okay, Mick, let's get right into it, and then we'll talk some other stuff. But spring ball for you, first spring ball back at HBCU. How did it go? I was there, but I want to get your synopsis on how it went.
Well, you know, coming in, you know, just as a staff, we said we wasn't going to cut all the kids. We wasn't going to come in there, give us a chance to get familiar with them, see where they're at, you know, forced graduation, you know, so we don't take an APR hit, and also see where they're at mentally, you know, because they have been losing for the last 2 years, and that's a mental trauma for some of these kids, because some of these kids hadn't lost since they came to college. So you had to see where they were at mentally. But I thought it was a productive spring. We had a chance to go 2 weeks and then spring break and then bring them back for 2 more weeks. So we thought after 2 weeks, we knew who our ones and twos was going to be. So we wanted to put the microscope on those kids for the last 2 weeks and to see who we was going to keep, and then and who we was going to move on from. And I heard y'all say that it's cuts. We just like to say we're going in a different direction. They need to get used to hearing that, because that's what's going to be said when they get into the real world. We're just going in a different direction, and our kids, you know, they understood and they appreciate us not cutting them right away. And we gave them a fair evaluation. You know, we had one kid, you know, had 290 snaps. So, you know, we was able to evaluate these kids, and they're great kids. You know, they're great kids. They love Grambling. But at the end of the day, they had to check our boxes, and some of them didn't.
Talk a little bit about the differences in that, what you're talking about as far as recruiting and have to let go. What's some of the difference between a Power 5 and the HBCU when you get into this recruiting situation?
Well, I think we can do more of developing a player on our side, because we have FCS and because we have limited scholarships. And people say, well, that's kind of backwards. No, I don't have to keep up with the Alabamas. I don't have to keep up with the Clemsons. I don't have to keep up with the Ohio States. If I play them, I'm going to play them one game. So they have to keep up. They have to have multiple transfers on their team. So like I said, my team's going to be 15% transfers, 85% through high school, and continue to develop them, because I think you still can do that on our FCS level. And so we have a different philosophy than some people. We want to take a portal kid and have 2 years. He has 2 years of eligibility left. We want to put a high school kid behind him. And, you know, when that kid goes out the door, that kid's now he's a junior, because we're not redshirting. We're not going to redshirt. He's a junior. Now he gets 2 years, but while he's a junior, we also can put another high school kid behind him. Or he gets beat out by this portal kid that we think this portal kid's better than him. So they're all in constant competition. And some of these kids are not used to this. Some of these kids been the best player on the field their whole entire life. So now it's a guy you're competing against that you don't even see, and that's dangerous.
I got a sidebar you one time. Did you hear? And I know you're in a whole different atmosphere being in the boot in Louisiana. But we talked about this yesterday about tampering. Okay, so there's been some tampering going on with Fedoni.
Hmm.
And so on a HBCU level, you develop a kid. Do you have to worry? Is that a worry of yours that you'll get a kid, you develop them, you pour into them, you pour resources into them, and then a big school will come in or and offer him X, and then he dips on you? Do you worry about that in this climate?
No, no, because I'm true to the game. It's no honor among thieves. It's
Mm.
no honor. We all. I'm taking kids off of D2 rosters. They taking kids off of my roster. So it's no. I don't worry about that because I really tell the kids. I tell the kids, hey, you're gonna come here. You're probably gonna be here for 7 months. Then Power Five's gonna come, and I'm gonna give you my blessing for you to move on. But then I got to go to get the next one. That's the state of college football right now.
Mm.
And people say, oh, they tampering. Well, come on, they tampering playground ball right now. So somebody gonna reach out to the kid for you, and it's happening. And I know the NCAA has to know what's going on, and they'll hit you, I guess, if they catch you. But it's up to the kid. It's up to the kid to walk in your office and say, hey, such and such is calling me, and then you don't have to turn him in, because. Then you make a phone call and you say, "Hey, man, please stop calling my kid." But tampering happens. Yes, it does. It's real. But I don't worry about that. I think I got about 5 or 6 kids that's on my roster right now that I'll have. I think after December they'll go pop back Power Five.
Wow.
Because some of them, one of them just developed. He's a 6'6", 290 kid, and he went to D2. He was 6'2", and he grew. So he's 290 now. So I think I'll have him, for a semester. And I have 2 receivers. We just got a quarterback in, from Jacksonville State that's really good. And I think this kid's gonna go back Group of 5. So it's happening. You gotta accept it if you're a coach at my level and know that's gonna happen. But you know what? You also keep your eye on Power Five teams and see what kids they recruiting and what kids they have to leave off the shelf because they don't have enough room because they took too many portal kids.
Mhm.
So it's a game. It's a game that you have to really be organized with right now. But you can't have your feelings. You got to check your feelings at the door.
Mhm. Coach, when you're going through spring ball and you're evaluating talent and you want to get guys a lot of reps, snaps, so that you can evaluate them. At the same time, as a head coach, are you evaluating coaches?
Oh, you was there. You seen it. Yes. Yes. I totally evaluate my coaches, and my coaches in a different situation than some coaches, because my coaches we're in an at will state, and
Ooh,
but my coaches I have a great staff. I have 9 guys, 10 guys that's under me. That's unbelievable recruiters, and they great coaches, but they're good people. They're good people. I can trust them.
mhm.
But our philosophy with them that I wanted a guy that can recruit.
We
We
good?
do have a question from the text line if you want. Do you
Throw
want
it,
to you want
yeah,
to ask away?
yeah. Fire away.
Gus Mohawk is asking, what's Coach's thoughts on Colorado and Coach Prime going back and forth on social media with his old players?
Ooh, good question.
Well, I mean, I don't think I'm not going. I wouldn't entertain that. I wouldn't entertain it because at the end of the day, it's hard enough when you got to sit down with these kids and look them in the eyes and say, "Hey, I'm going in a different direction," and to say, "Hey, I'm not saying that you're not good enough, to play college football. You're just not checking the boxes." So that's hard enough. So once they leave, you want to make sure that they're in a good state of mind when they leave. You want to check on them, and I've done that. And we had one kid, had a car accident that we put in the portal. And all the coaches reached out to him. But I don't know if going back on social media with him. But then, sometimes it's fake accounts. You don't know if he's going back and forth with him.
Mm.
But you got to take your hat off to Dion what he did for the HBCUs. And I know he's going back and forth. Everybody say he's going back and forth with portal kids, but that's the game. If you look at the draft the other day, every kid from Alabama who went to a second school got drafted. Look how many
Wow.
kids. Look how many kids in the draft. Just go back to the draft. They'll show Oregon, then they'll show apply to Utah State. They'll show Georgia, then they'll show another school. When you look at nobody was looking at them, and the draft never said, second school. So what happened when these kids watch the draft? Well, if I don't play right away, then guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pack up and go somewhere else. Because they see kids now leaving Alabama, leaving Georgia, leaving schools, going to get drafted, or leaving the HBCU, going to get drafted, or leaving the FCS, going to get drafted. So it goes back and forth. But I'm just not a big thing about going back and forth on social media. With young men that's probably not in their right state of mind because something was pulled from underneath them. But I
Got you.
do take my hat off to Deion because I appreciate what he did for HBCUs.
When you're trying to staff a team, I mean, I was there, right?
Yeah.
And first of all, let's just talk a little bit about facility. How big of a drop off is it? And I don't think it's huge, but it is from Nebraska to Grambling. Facilities wise.
Oh no, it don't even compare. It don't compare. And that's one thing that we're doing right now. We're in the process, of revamping our facility. That's why we're out here, trying to raise money, to get that done. When we were at LSU, we had to put 46 million into to a facility right before we won a national championship. I think Nebraska just spent what 300 million, something like that. Yeah, so what we spent was chump change at LSU compared to what Nebraska's spending. So it's a drop off when it come down facilities because just financially, you don't have cost of attendance, you don't have the 85 to 90,000 people in the stands consistently every week. So yeah, it's a drop off when it comes to facilities.
That being said, man, talk a little bit about the Joseph Brothers Foundation. What is it? What are you trying to get accomplished? Because I think here in Nebraska, we're going to try to do what we can to make sure that you have the things that you need and the tools that you need as a token of our gratitude for what you did for us coming here, to give back to you. So talk a little bit about the Joseph Brothers Foundation, what that is, and then if somebody wanted to support it, how would they get in touch?
Well, my thing is, with the foundation, we came up with the foundation, my brothers and I, just to give back, to the game, to give back to life, and to let kids know who come from my parts of life, in Louisiana. I mean, you got family down there. It's a little different down there. It's very much a struggle to get out of there, and to get out of there. I heard you talking about death. Get out of there living past the age of 21. People say, how come people in New Orleans, we celebrate that 21st birthday? Because so many people tell you, yo, you'll be dead before you're 21.
Wow.
To our neighborhood, give back to the game of football, and let those kids use those tools that they have to get out not so good situations. Not because sometimes if you're in a situation you don't know it's a bad situation because there's a whole bunch of love, and that's one thing they do have down in Louisiana. But we know it's some rough spots. What kids are eating. What kids are putting on their back, their shoes. Just trying to help them do that. So we're doing camps. Just around the city. And have Grambling in tune with it. But just we just want to give back. We want to give back. Vance, my brother, the DC at the Broncos. He don't have much time. Terry don't have much time. He's at Texas, and Sam, he's at ULM as a DB coach. And Derek's working kids out down there, so we don't have much time. So we said, okay, let's come up with this foundation so we can start giving back through the foundation, and also to help my players with nutrition during the summer, because it's not like where you have a training table. You don't have training table. You don't have 10 strength coaches. I got one right now.
Wow.
Andy, and he does a great job. So, but if you want to give back, it's the Joseph Brothers Foundation. Mickey.joseph02@gmail.com. That's my email address, and they can also reach out to you because you have one of my letters.
Yep.
That if they want to help. But at the end of the day, like just talking to my family members about it. But we all say this: no matter what, the ball's going to kick off. And so we want to make sure that we're giving back before that ball kicks off, so we can be in a good state of mind, so we can put back a good winning season at Grambling.
So you brought up, I wasn't gonna bring it up, but since you brought it up, Vance took a couple of Huskers out there in Denver.
Yes, he did.
He took a couple of Huskers, and I thought I was like, well, maybe that was a phone call type stuff because he took two.
Yeah, but I mean, he'll call if he's got a question mark about a kid. He didn't call me about Q or Omar, but I think they're really good players. I think Omar is a straight nickel in the NFL. I think he's a kid has a high football IQ. We got him from Northern Iowa. He's a really good player. He's physical. He can cover. And I think once Q gets some weight on him and get a little stronger, he's going to be a good player in the NFL. Because what do you think he can do now? He can lock you down and he can turn and run. So you want to wish those kids well. You want to wish all those kids well. When they go into the next level, because now they go into a different stage. They leaving that NIL money and they go into that real money. That's what Jamar Chase tells me. He said, Coach, they concentrate on that little money. That's little money. He said they weren't about that little money. He said that little money gonna stop. He said this NFL money, once you get that big money and you get that big signing bonus and you put it away, he said it's gonna be there when I'm 35. He said the
Coach,
NIL money is not going to be there.